We are finally done with the triple-digit temperatures here in Tucson, Arizona, which means I can start taking down the shade structures and I can get the new bamboo in the ground without fear that they will just get baked and have a really hard transition. So today I'm going to start planting the new bamboo. I'm going to give you a tour of where they're going to go. So starting out here in the corner, we've got the Chinese dwarf, which is pretty cool because it has some new growth on it. You see this new cane here popping up. It's already getting new growth. I want to get it in the ground. And again, I'm excited about this one because when it is fully grown, it does not look like a dwarf. It is huge, but apparently in bamboo standards it's a dwarf, so that's why it's called that. Then we've got the Timor Black bamboo, so these shoots will get really black and dark. You can kind of see that here on this one on the left. Then we've got the giant Burmese, which I'm super excited about. Let's see, is that? Bingo. The giant bamboo, and you can see just how big these canes get when they're fully grown. So I am super excited about that one. Got a nice big hole for it. And then lastly over here, we've got the tropical blue bamboo, finally filling in that empty space in the original plot. So I'm going to get to planting and I'll show you a few tips along the way. Real quick, I wanted to capture this on video because this is probably the only time in this entire project that I will be able to do this. Put a shovel to the ground and with 1 foot, sink it all the way down. That just doesn't happen with Tucson dirt. And I wanted to capture that momentous moment. Such a joy to be able to do that. Arizona things, I guess. Now that I've got the hole dug, it's time to start watering the hole. So you want the bamboo to be planted in moist soil. So I'm going to give this a good watering. Some of it's still wet. You can see the dark soil from our monsoon rains, but you want to get it nice and wet all the way down so that it has as good a chance to start as possible. So I'm going to give this a good soaking and then we'll get it in the ground. All right, 2 things to watch out for here now that we're about to plant this guy. First is the new growth. So that new cane, these new canes are rather fragile, so you want to be extra careful not to bend them. They will snap if you are too rough with them initially, so often when they're growing you want to put a fence around them, maybe if you've got kids or animals or something like that that might run through the bamboo and knock them over and just snap your new growth. So I'm going to be really delicate as I plant this. The second thing is to give your bamboo a couple of days without water. They will be just fine. The reason why is that you'll allow the soil to kind of contract and form a solid glob. Now here, I didn't do that, so you can see as I squish, the soil is just sticking to the sides of the bucket, and that's going to make it tough to get it all out. But if you give it a couple days without water, the soil will shrink down and kind of harden up in its own little root ball, which makes it a lot easier to just slide right out of that bucket. So I'm going to do the best I can and get it in the ground anyway. Got it out of the bucket with a little bit of difficulty. Would have been nice to have it drier, and so now I'm just going to start pouring this soil back in to fill it up. Trying to make a little bit of a well here so that any water that we send to it goes right to the center where the plant is. Bingo, we're in. Now I'm not concerned about how high the soil is because the soil tends to compact down and to compress once it gets wet. So I'm going to water it, and over a couple days I expect it'll get quite a bit lower. Now that it's in the ground and soil is back on top, I'm going to give it some water and see if I can't get some of the soil to compress down. Looks like the well is working all right. Water is going right towards the bamboo, so if we get any more monsoon rains, it'll go go right to that bamboo. All right, time to do the other 3.